Warrior Cats is a long-running series written by a group of British authors under the pen name of Aaron Hunter. These books could probably be best described as Game of Thrones for kids with adorable kitties. You've got politics, power struggles, mothers poisoning their sons, the dead rising to kill the living, cats with superpowers, psychic time travel, incest, and a whole bunch of made-up words for mundane things. The series involves the struggle of wildcats living out in the woods in societal structures called clans. There are 5 clans: Thunder Clan, Wind Clan, River Clan, Shadow Clan, and Sky Clan, all with slightly different cultures, but who are all connected through their adherence to something called the Warrior Code, and who share a mutual belief that their destinies are controlled by their warrior ancestors, who live in an afterlife called StarClan. The series has a thriving fan base that sometimes likes to joke about the clans being a nudist cult living out in the woods. But what if it's more than just a tongue-in-cheek joke? How would you go about defining a cult or identifying one? You could always just Google the definition, which would be a misplaced or excessive admiration of a particular person or thing. Well, that's bullshit. Let's go with something a little bit more concrete. Something that, couldn't be applied to 27-year-olds about to dive into deep analysis of a children's book series about talking cats. Stephen Hassan has something known as the bite model, which does a great job of breaking down the behaviors we typically associate with the way cults control their members. The bite model breaks down these control methods into 4 categories: behavior, information, thought, and emotional control, with each category identifying a host of techniques that cults use to keep their members behaving in a way that the leadership wants. Not every method is necessary to identify cult-like behavior, and likewise, not all of these techniques are sinister on their face. It's more the intensity that matters. If time allowed, I'd do a breakdown of each individual technique and apply it to the clans using evidence from the books, but this video is already going to be crazy long, so let's try something else. I'm going to share scenes from the books that I think best show the way that the clans exhibit certain techniques from the bite model, starting with their biggest contender for behavior control. It's the night of the full moon, and time for the clans to meet in peace and share news at the monthly gathering. Normally, news is shared solely by the leaders, and normal warriors are discouraged from speaking. But this night is different. A young warrior named Hollyleaf has forced her way to the Great Oak, where the leaders perch in the branches above the crowd. She insists she has important news that all the clans need to hear. Her leader, Firestar, tries to shut her down, but the other leaders are curious to learn ThunderClan's secrets, and insist she be given a platform. Hollyleaf climbs the tree and turns to address the crowd. This time last month, she'd murdered the cat who threatened to reveal the very secret she now stood prepared to lay bare to every cat who lived under StarClan's laws. There were liars in the clan, and the warrior code had been perverted, and there was only one way to set things right. All eyes are on her, but she's calm. She knows what she has to do. "I'm adopted!" she cries to a chorus of startled gasps from her feline audience. It's horrible, but it's true. Hollyleaf spent her whole life believing that her father was the deputy of ThunderClan, and that her mother was the respected warrior Squirrelflight, daughter of the leader Firestar. But it had all been a lie. Squirrelflight had taken in Hollyleaf and her brothers, Jayfeather and Lionblaze, from her sister Leafpool, ThunderClan's medicine cat, who had an affair with a WindClan warrior named Crowfeather. For Hollyleaf, who has always strived to be a loyal warrior and to follow the code, knowing that her very existence is thanks to the breaking of it has been too much. In my opinion, one of the most heinous ways a cult controls people is to put restrictions or rules on their sexuality. In clan culture, you're forbidden from having relationships with cats from other clans. Medicine cats, the doctor-priests of the warrior world, are forbidden outright from taking a mate or from having children. In the books, Leafpool's official punishment for this incident is actually pretty light and voluntary. She loses her job as a medicine cat, but she eventually gets the position back anyway. But no one in the clans has actually forgotten this, and it's constantly brought up throughout the rest of the series and held over her sister, and Crowfeather's heads. Leafpool isn't even given any peace from this crime in death, which brings us to information control. Years after Squirrelflight and Leafpool's lies are exposed, the two sisters are caught in a landslide. While they teeter on the brink of life and death, they wake up in StarClan, the place that cats go when they die. Squirrelflight's head is reeling. The idea that she could be at the end of her life hasn't sunk in. She has so much left to do. Leafpool seems to be more at peace with the idea, but maybe that's just how it is for medicine cats. Leafpool's had a paw in StarClan her whole life, and maybe the transition from life to death is just easier to accept when the line's been blurred from the start. But even Leafpool's air of serenity melts when they're told they have to face trial for their crimes in life. "You're lucky in a way," Firestar had said. "Most cats don't get the chance to speak for themselves. Their fate is decided before they reach us." It's funny, Scrollflight had just seen the cat who threatened to murder her children walking happily in StarClan. Apparently he hadn't had anything to answer for in death. The absurdity is too much. "Am I supposed to be grateful?" she asks. The 6 cats that will decide their fate appear. 3 former leaders, Blue Star, Tall Star, and Crooked Star, and 3 former medicine cats, Little Cloud, Yellowfang, and Mothflight. They start with Leafpool. Mothflight, an ancient cat from the very dawn of the clans, the first medicine cat, explains that she created the rule that medicine cats would not be allowed to have children after she had to give up her own. She asks Leafpool why she would break this rule. Leafpool answers simply, "I fell in love." It's no excuse, you didn't have to act on it. They ask why she specifically had kits with a cat from another clan. Love is no more impressive an answer the second time. Scrollflight doesn't know it, and Leafpool doesn't say it, but years ago, when she first had been struggling with her feelings for Crowfeather, a StarClan cat appeared to her and told her to follow her heart. Leafpool doesn't know it, and none of the StarClan cats say it, but her children were always supposed to be born. The Power of 3 prophecy told StarClan that Leafpool's kittens were destined to be main characters, and they couldn't be main characters if they were never born. So Leafpool did as she was told, she followed her heart. She got knocked up, and now, years later, she stood trial for that obedience. When it's Scrollflight's turn to stand trial, they grill her on her lies. She lied to her mate, to her sister's children who she pretended were her own, and to her clan. Scrollflight should know, but maybe doesn't remember, maybe she doesn't dare to remember, to question, because she doesn't point out that Yellowfang, one of the very cats holding her trial, had told Scrollflight to take in Hollyleaf, Lionblaze, and Jayfeather. Yellowfang had even lied, telling Scrollflight that she was barren and that she'd never have a chance at motherhood if she didn't take in Leafpool's kits and raise them in ThunderClan, where they could be main characters. Instead, she says, "I'm sorry. I know a warrior shouldn't lie. I failed you. I failed my clan. I'm sorry." Thought control is putting restrictions on what thoughts are okay and aren't, or instilling specific ways of viewing things. Black versus white, insider versus outsider doctrine is common in the clans, and exhibited in a wide variety of ways. But I think the most iconic form of thought control used in the clans is the way they change a character's identity by changing their name. The naming structure in the clan is unique among cats in the series. They use a 2-part naming system where a cat is given a unique prefix at birth and a suffix that changes to denote their rank. Names like Lionblaze and Frecklewish immediately set clans apart from other cats, and are a way to subtly enforce that they are different from outsiders. In an interesting case, an outsider named Daisy seeks refuge in ThunderClan. She's a cat who lives on a nearby farm, and when she gets pregnant, she runs away to avoid her kittens being euthanized when they're born. She has her kittens safely and names them Hazel, Berry, and Mouse. Those will work well as clan names, she's told. Here, they'll be Hazelkit, Berrykit, and Mousekit. No input from Daisy, the choice is taken away from her. The book even makes sure we know she's uncomfortable, but she's just a silly barn cat, so it's okay. She just doesn't get it. Her kids will, though, and that's what matters. When it comes to emotional control, quantitatively the clans actually use less of the techniques listed in the Bite model, but what they use effectively. WindClan has been dealing with an infestation of stoats, which are occupying the tunnel system that runs between WindClan and ThunderClan territory. Crowfeather has the bright idea to get ThunderClan to help out with clearing out the infestation, and brings the leader Bramblestar to speak with OneStar. OneStar instead insults Bramblestar and sends him packing. As the days go on, several WindClan cats are injured and one goes missing. The situation keeps getting worse. But OneStar has a solution. He'll solve the problem of the Stoats and the Busybody ThunderClan in one go. He tells his warriors that they'll block the tunnels on the WindClan side, and the Fuzzy Demon Snakes will have to go bother that jerk-faced Bramblestar instead. Crowfeather makes the mistake of pointing out just how stupid that idea is, and how intentionally antagonizing someone who offered you help the day before is callous and childish. Being the noble leader of WindClan, OneStar reacts to this by immediately banishing Crowfeather. Not without mercy, OneStar puts a minimum sentence at a quarter moon, which is cat speak for 1 week, and assures Crowfeather that he'll be allowed to return once he's realized where he went wrong. In other words, he's allowed to come back when he's willing to grovel. Crowfeather is initially stunned, and he looks to his fellow warriors for someone to speak up for him, to tell OneStar that he's making a mistake. But no one does. Permission to return? Ha! If WindClan doesn't need me, then I don't need WindClan. Crowfeather keeps his head held high as he walks out of WindClan's camp, all the while listening for a voice to call him back. No one does. A cat's clan is also his family, and by isolating cats who disobey, even with temporary exile, leaders exhibit a form of emotional control to keep cats obedient. The series is ripe with moments like these where the control methods from the bite model are easily applicable, the most obvious moments coming from the series' villains. When thinking of a cult, readers of the book will think of characters like Darktail, Soul, or the current villain, Possessed Bramblestar. But you need to ask yourself why the characters and warriors so often and so easily fall under the influence of manipulative and controlling cats. I think showing how the clans behave without the influence of outright evil characters has shown their strong cult-like tendencies. The intense promotion of obedience towards the code is what spurred Hollyleaf into action against her own family, and the restrictions they put on medicine cats and everyday warriors when it comes to their sexuality created lifelong grief for characters like Leafpool and Crowfeather. And even though their incident of code breaking was explicitly encouraged by the warrior ancestors that the clans revere, the need for absolute control caused StarClan to throw Leafpool and Squirrelflight under the bus. In their trial, they deliberately withheld information that would have put the sisters' actions into better light, and gaslit them to make them believe that the whole code-breaking affair and covert adoption had been their own responsibility with no input from their ancestors. The naming and ranking system is a subtle control method, which sends a message to both the clan cats and outsiders that they are special and different. There's also strong pressure put on outsiders who join the clans to change their names so that they'll fit in. Then they'll use your emotional ties with your clanmates against you, with the threat of exile and separation from your loved ones keeping you from acting out, or even speaking up to defend cats like Crowfeather when they're wrongfully punished. Clan cats have little to no ability to speak up for themselves when it comes to the unjust nature of their laws. There are strict controls placed on their behavior, on the information they get, on the way they think about themselves in relation to others, and on their own emotional well-being. If these books aren't meant to be about feline cultists, they're doing a damn good impression.